Okay, so I saw this video here by the Critical Drinker, the first 5 seconds of it, I should say, and I kind of got like triggered immediately. So I figured it'd be good content to watch. So let's hit play.
Truly, we are living in strange times. A world where new Marvel and Star Wars movies are greeted with almost universal indifference, and a movie about a fat Italian plumber chugging magic mushrooms to fight a giant dinosaur is on track to make over $1 billion. And you know what?
So that is absolutely insane framing. Mario is one of the most beloved video game characters of all time. No, not one of the most beloved video game characters of all time. He is the most beloved video game character of all time. To like frame it as if it's this strange occurrence that his movie is more popular than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is just unhinged. Like I don't know how you can present that as if it's some wild wacky thing and kind of paint it as like some special occurrence. I don't know, that's weird, but let's see what else he has to say. This is all I've seen of the video beforehand, by the way.
I love it. I mean, when it comes to making their transition to the big screen, Mario and Luigi have had a bit of a rocky history. 9-year-old me sat through the Bob Hoskins and Dennis Hopper movie way back in 1993, completely and utterly baffled at what I was seeing. A situation that remained...
I don't think I've actually seen the Mario movie. Or maybe I have, but I don't remember much of it, to be honest with you.
unchanged to this very day. The film was such a nightmarish disaster that it basically soured Nintendo on the idea of big screen adaptations for the better part of 30 years. But it's amazing what a pair of successful Sonic movies from their old enemy Sega can do to change a company's mind. And so here we are in 2023, staring down the magical warp pipe of Super Mario Bros. The movie. It's nice to see that some rivalries never die. People have been going absolutely nuts over this film over the past week or so, hailing it as a turning point in the history of video game adaptations and possibly the future direction of Western cinema. Jesus, calm down, lad.
Oh, okay, wait, is he gonna have a rational take here?
But the reason you're probably watching this video is to find out if Super Mario Bros. Is actually any good, and more importantly, if it's worth parting with your hard-earned cash to go and see. Well, the answer is yes.
Is this just a review?
Mostly. See, Super Mario Bros. Is the kind of film that's tailor-made for precisely two kinds of people. Young kids who enjoy bright colours and fast-paced action, and middle-aged gamers looking to relive their childhoods. If you fall into either one of these categories, then you're probably gonna have a blast with this movie. And if you don't, then you're probably gonna be left wondering what the fuck you just saw.
So wow!
Shut up! Anyway, the movie centres around everyone's favourite Italian plumbers, Mario.
That is I actually, like, kind of agree with that take, because it's like, here's the thing. You can watch my review if you want, like, more in-depth thoughts or whatever, but it's not a particularly strong movie. Like, and it's really annoying when I see people, like, defending it, because they're like, well, what do you expect? You can't have standards for a kids movie. Kids movies don't have to be good. And you know, my response to you is, well, why do you hate children? Why do you think that children deserve bad movies? Why don't you think that children deserve good movies? Where does this hatred for children come from in your heart? That's what I wonder personally. Because it's like, you can make a good kids movie, you know? I think a really good example is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's like, that is a movie that is tailor-made for like die-hard Spider-Man fans that are gonna understand all the references, and they're gonna soy out, and they're gonna point at the screen, and they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I understand the reference. I know what that is. But you know what? even if you're not a big Spider-Man fan that's gonna understand all of the niche references, that's still a fantastic movie. And I think it's reasonable to desire that from a Mario movie as well. Because it's like, people be like, well, there was never a story in the games. And it's like, sure, but this is the movie. It's not a game. There isn't like super fun gameplay to back up the mediocre story, So I don't know. That's my take. Although Critical Drinker here, he kind of has that energy a bit, with mocking Grace Randolph's review. Although I didn't see Grace Randolph's review, and to be honest with you, I didn't even really understand what she said there. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Blast me in the comments if you wish.
Mario and his brother Luigi. They've just quit their jobs to start their own plumbing business in Brooklyn and sunk all of their money into a TV ad to promote it. Their first gig doesn't go particularly well, however, and when Mario's family question the wisdom of risking everything on his crazy pipe dream, Mario starts to have doubts about where his life is heading. Then he gets sucked down a magical warp pipe and transported into an alternate dimension inhabited by talking mushroom people. So yeah, in case you hadn't noticed, the movie switches gears pretty quickly. Anyway, the gist is that the kingdoms in this land are under threat by Bowser, who's managed to get his hands on the Craggle, the superstar that's going to grant him the power to destroy anything in his path unless Princess Peach agrees to marry him. Why exactly would a giant talking dinosaur be romantically attracted to a human female? And what does he expect to get out of such a relationship? Don't know, but it's a question that's haunted me ever since I was a little kid. Even worse, Mario and Luigi
Why
got
is there?
separated on
Wait,
the
why
way
did he
here,
use the
and Luigi's
footage
now
of
been
Brie
captured
Larson
by
there?
Bowser's minions.
What? Okay, I'm sorry, but these guys are not beating the Brie Larson obsession allegations. It's like, I don't know. I don't even know what to say.
Leaving Mario with only one choice: team up with Princess Peach, fight his way to Bowser's castle, rescue his brother, and save the Mushroom Kingdom. Oh yeah, and in order to get there, they're gonna need an army, which means recruiting Donkey Kong to join the fights. As I said earlier, this movie is heavy on references, in-jokes, and callbacks to the classic platforming games, and if you're not familiar with the lore of those games, then you're definitely gonna be left wondering what's going on. That being said, for people like me who wasted months replaying every level of Super Mario World or Donkey Kong Country looking for every possible hidden secret, it's a pretty cool experience when you realize how much stuff they were able to cram in here. There's a definite sense of reverence.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I had fun with the movie. Like, it was... Like, I'm not saying that I didn't have fun pointing at the screen and yelling, oh my gosh, I understand that reference. I know what that is. Like, it's not that I didn't enjoy that experience, but I could have... How do I drop? Is there... I don't know. I don't know how to play Minecraft. But like... It's... But I still left the theater disappointed because that's the only... Really the only amount of enjoyment that I got from the movie. Like, it was just kind of a nothing movie beyond that. And I think it's okay for somebody to have that opinion. It's okay to have standards for the entertainment that you watch. Doesn't matter if it's made for kids or if it's a video game adaptation, because it's also like, are video games art or are they not art? Right? Like, can video games and stuff about video games tell meaningful stories, or are video games, unlike any other medium, right? Because when you go watch like a traditional movie, you want a good story. When you read a traditional book, you want a good story. It's like, are video games so much lesser than other art forms when it comes to narratives that it's just okay, you can't criticize the story in them? And I don't know. It's something that gamers have to contend with, I feel like. Okay, let's
for the source material and a desire to reward longtime fans of the games. Oh my goodness, respect for the lore and for the customers? What kind of bizarre world are we living in here? The plot itself isn't exactly complicated and the characters aren't going to inspire 5-hour video essays about their hidden meanings and motivations, but then again, what were you expecting? The original games weren't exactly heavy on story either, and I don't think many kids back then were desperate to know Mario's entire personal history or the intricate political situation of the Mushroom Kingdom. That being said though, I think there was more scope to tackle slightly more complex ideas than they did here. The best animated movies are the ones that appeal to both kids and the adults that took them to the movie theater in the first place.
Well, that's the thing. That's the problem with this movie is that I don't know that. Well, I guess I might just be in the wrong because the movie's making a ton of movie, but I'm like, it only appeals to adults who play the games, which granted obviously is a really big audience. But I don't think that this movie is going to appeal to adults who don't have familiarity with the game. Like, my mom isn't going to find any enjoyment in this movie. I think my mom could enjoy Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I don't think she could enjoy this movie.
Working in subtle but mature story and character beats that appeal to different generations. Like, there's a reason people still get emotional at the intro to Up, or the ending for Toy Story 3. The bittersweet acknowledgement that sooner or
But it's like am I the crazy one that's saying that none of the emotional beats in the Mario movie even come close? They're not even in the same, they're not on the same planet, they're not in the same solar system as the emotional beats in what did I say first as the example? The emotional beats of the Mario movie don't come anywhere close to the emotional beats of Up or Toy Story 3. Am I crazy for saying that?
later, we all have to say goodbye to the simple innocence of our childhoods and leave behind the once treasured objects that went on the journey with us. Stuff like that tugs at the heartstrings of kids that know eventually it's gonna happen to them, but it hits even harder for the parents who already went through it. Basically, what I'm trying to say with all this pish is that there isn't really that same complexity of emotion or storytelling here.
True.
It's simple, straight-up entertainment, and the only real theme that you can draw from it is the value of determination and loyalty to the people that you care about. Pretty universal and inoffensive ideas, but hardly groundbreaking stuff. But as simple as they are, I think...
But it doesn't have to be groundbreaking, it just has to be good. Like, I don't know that Up is groundbreaking. I don't even know that Toy Story 3 is groundbreaking, but it's good. It's well made. No, but like the Mario movie, it didn't have to be groundbreaking. It just had to be good. Sorry, I'm repeating myself here.
Most of the characters come across as likeable and fun. Mario's a plucky underdog that everyone underestimates, driven by family loyalty and able to pick himself up and carry on when the going gets tough. He struggles and fails but never quite gives up and always finds a way to pull through to the end. Luigi's timid and reluctant, preferring to follow his brother's lead and always looking to Mario to protect him. He's probably the least well-served character in the movie, since he spends most of his time locked up waiting to be rescued. And although he does redeem himself at the end, it would have been nice to see the two brothers working together a bit more. Princess Peach seems to be the biggest bone of contention for most people, and it's not hard to see why. The modern Hollywood trend of elevating female characters into annoying, obnoxious girl bosses who can do everything that men can do, but better, is pretty well known at this point, and if the rumors are true, that's exactly
Why did you use footage of the Marvels? There aren't even like there aren't male superheroes in the Marvels. They're not doing it better than men in particular. What? Again, I'm sorry, I have to point this out. You're not beating the Brie Larson obsession allegations.
exactly what the studio had planned before Nintendo stepped in and overruled them. And if that's the case, then fucking hats off to them, because I think this version of...
Wait, what? Hold on. Wait, what is that? What is that? What is this conspiracy theory here? Hold on.
Point. And if the rumors are true, that's exactly what the studio had planned before Nintendo stepped in.
What rumors? I don't even remember. Was that reported anywhere?
in and overruled them. And if that's the case, then fucking hats off to them, because I think this version of the character manages to walk a pretty careful line, able to make decisions and look after herself without...
What line? Okay, I'm sorry. This is my conspiracy theory, okay, that I'm going to levy out. It honestly sometimes does feel like people will... They'll just like stake their culture war flag into whatever the popular thing is. Because Princess Peach in the Mario movie is absolutely a woke girl boss who is better than Mario at a bunch of stuff. There is a scene where Mario gets humiliated by Princess Peach because Princess Peach is better at doing the obstacle course than he is. Right? Like, the first time they meet, Princess Peach, like, flips him over and can beat him up. Like, I don't even... Princess Peach is a girl boss. She is a woke girl boss in this movie. And I guarantee you that if this movie didn't have, like, a 90% audience score and didn't... And I don't know, like, it isn't making all the money in the world, okay, I can't say that I assure you, but I have a strong feeling that, again, I can't necessarily prove, but something tells me that a lot of these people would be, like, calling that out and, like, saying that, well, people are sick of woke girl bosses, blah, 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 blah. But whatever.
Overshadowing and belittling the actual protagonist of the movie. Yeah, there's one or two little occasions when she's a bit too good at everything she does.
Only one or two little occasions, okay.
And I noticed that the finale carefully adheres to the golden rule of modern writing, that a woman can never be directly rescued by a man, but whatever. The point I'm making is that while she gets to do more than just...
Oh, whatever? Again, I'm just saying. By the way, is that a trope that women can't be directly rescued by men? Again, I'm sorry, but, like, when it comes to a lot of the, like, anti-SJW culture war people, I just, like, don't even, like, how do you pay attention to that stuff? of like I've noticed a trend in recent movies where a woman can't be directly rescued by a man. They have to have agency over their actions. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, what are we doing here? I don't know. It's a weird thing to call out.
Scream at Mario, help me! She's a perfectly likable and charming character all by herself. Ultimately, for all its simplicity and lack of narrative depth, Super Mario Bros. Comes across as the perfect palate cleanser for audiences worn down by divisive, preachy, and mean-spirited animated movies from the...
Like, again, I don't... this is just the weird take to me where it's like, they're just, like, using the success of the Mario movie to just further their own political agenda. It's like, a Mario movie is successful. Well, it's successful because it's not woke. I mean, it is woke, kind of, but I'm just gonna, like, dismiss the woke elements of it because it's not convenient for me to harp on it, even though they are there and they are very, very present. I'm just gonna dismiss the woke elements that the movie has because audiences that are supposedly sick of woke stuff don't care about the woke stuff in this movie because it's convenient for me not to care about the woke stuff. But it's because it's a successful movie, I have to somehow spin the situation to further my political agenda. It's just weird. It's like, it's a Mario movie. Of course a Mario movie is going to be successful. And this is a Mario movie that people are really enjoying. So obviously it's going to be even more, like, exponentially successful. But you can't say that it's successful because it's not woke, because it's pretty woke. Princess Peach is a girl boss. Bowser is simping all over her through the entire movie. Now, people say, well, Bowser's always been a simp because he's always tried to marry her. And it's like, okay, then the original Mario has always been woke. And it's one of the most successful franchises in gaming history. What now? Checkmate. L plus ratio plus I had sex with your mother plus your dad joined too. Take that.
Not so Magic Kingdom, or tedious and played out superhero flicks in the twilight of their genre. And for all I joked about it at the start of this review, the box office numbers speak for themselves. We could just be witnessing a real shift in Hollywood and the kind of films that they make going forwards. The era of the comic book movie is coming to an end, and after decades of false starts and misfires, the age of the video game adaptation might just be upon us.
Oh, we'll see about the age of the video game adaptation. I mean, yeah, maybe, because the Sonic movies have been successful, and The Last of Us was really successful. Mario's successful. Arcane is successful, but I don't know if we're going to enter an era of video game movies where that are on the level of that vast heights of Marvel. You know what I mean? Where or comic book movies where a comic book movie comes out and it's gonna make at least $500 million at the box office. I don't know. I don't know, because the thing about comic book movies is that they were in their own shared universes. So there was a strength in unity, I guess you could say, where it's if a movie was a Marvel movie, it had this built-in audience that was going to watch it because it's a Marvel movie. That's how you got success from a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, for example, where it's because of the background of Marvel's of the MCU, people sort of had that confidence that they were going to watch it anyways. And I don't know, I guess maybe I'm wrong about that, because it's we could see a dominant Nintendo franchise where, because it's a Nintendo movie, then people will be more likely to watch a Metroid movie, whereas they might not have otherwise. But I guess, yeah, I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is that I don't know that that video game movies will be as connected as the MCU is, to where because it's a video game movie, people will go out and see it. Am I explaining myself correctly there? Because it's I don't think that if we get a successful Nintendo franchise, I don't think that necessarily means that you can come out and make a Duke Nukem movie and that's gonna be successful because it's a video game movie also. I feel like video games are a lot more separated from one another than comic book movies are.
And quite frankly, I'm more than ready for it. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
We're reinventing.
All right. Yeah, overall, I actually agree with him on the quality of the movie. It's not a very good movie, but it's enjoyable enough. But again, I don't like that. It just annoys me when I see political activists that just try and twist everything into their own agenda for no good reason, really. It's the Mario movie is woke. It is. It objectively is. Princess Peach is a woke girl boss. Bowser is a simp. Princess Peach is shown to be better than the male characters in the movie. And that's not a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think that showing a weaker character that gets to overcome, his shortcomings, it's cool. It's a good story. But the movie is woke. It just is. And I find it annoying that, people like The Critical Drinker, it's they can't acknowledge that it's they can't acknowledge that, a woke movie is successful maybe there's something wrong with my ideology here, where apparently audiences just hate woke stuff and preachy stuff. They can't like properly rationalize it. They have to like twist it around to fit their narrative. It's like with The Last of Us. It's like obviously audiences were not bothered by like the Bill and Frank episode. Obviously they were not bothered by the Ellie and what's her face, the whatever her girlfriend episode. Obviously audiences were fine with that. So obviously it's not that audiences are sick of woke stuff or preachy stuff necessarily. They just want better content. So when we analyze other failures, we can't just blame it on woke stuff, because that's not what audiences are sick of, right? Like when you look at Lightyear, it's not that audiences care about the lesbian kiss. Because when you look at The Last of Us, again, that's a very clear example that now I'm glad it's there that I can point to it. It's not that they care about that. It's that I personally believe that it makes more sense to say that the marketing on that movie was terrible. It was confusing. And then when the movie came out, nobody knew what it was. And it also wasn't very good, so the word of mouth wasn't strong. I feel like that's a much more reasonable explanation than, people are sick of gay people. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just sick of all the politics and the people having their own agendas and just twisting everything to fit their worldview. I don't know. I find that stuff annoying and cringy, but let me know what you think about any and all of this in the comments down below. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.